Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us as we take you back to some of our leading stories. The presidency has confirmed there was a robbery at President Cyril Ramaphosa's farm, but disputes some allegations made by the former spy boss and prisoners commissioner Arthur Fraser. On Wednesday, Fraser laid a criminal complaint against Ramaphosa, accusing him of breaching the Prevention of Organised Crime Act. Now, joining me is political analyst Dr. Dale McKinley. Dr. McKinley, very good evening to you. Thank you for your time. It's been an interesting week. On the 1st of June, Arthur Fraser laid these criminal charges at the Rosebank police station against President Ramaphosa for concealing a crime. And then in a statement through his lawyer, Fraser also said that Ramaphosa had breached the Organised Crime and Anti-Corruption legislation, but there's some grey area because he didn't explain how exactly that happened.
Yeah, listen, I think it's far too early to make a judgment call in terms of the veracity of these charges. We can say that certainly Ramaphosa made a mistake. He should have reported whatever happened to the authorities at the time. He indicates that he reported it to the Presidential Protection Unit, which of course is not the law enforcement. But I think that what we have to see this as is, irrespective of whatever happens, if the police investigate, which evidently they've been doing for some time, and there's been no charges laid. So without speculating too much, one could say that where there's a lot of smoke here, I'm not so sure there's a huge amount of fire, but it's playing itself out in terms of the lead up to the ANC Congress. It's clearly a factional move. It's clearly a move to put pressure on Ramaphosa. And Arthur Fraser, I think, is trying to get some revenge for what happened to him as well.
Yeah, because the President's office yesterday released a statement saying that the motive and the timing of this by the former State Security Agency head against him needs to be questioned, saying that there really is a lot to read into this matter.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I think when we all saw this headline, we were like, wow, okay, that's a bit surprising, but we're not surprised at the same time, given all of the back and forths, the name calling, the charges that have been laid against many of the people that would be classified as being in the RET faction of the ANC. But the more interesting part is if the intention is to try to prevent Ramaphosa from contesting, or at least having him to step aside, given the ANC step aside rule, the case at the moment is still stillborn. In other words, he would have to be charged by the police with criminal charges, not just allegations or not just the laying of charges, but charged for that to kick in. So I think it's going to be interesting in the next several months to see if the investigation goes anywhere, to see if there was actually any case to answer, and if there is, well, then the law must take its course. And I think all South Africans would say, irrespective of who's involved, our Constitution clearly states that everyone is equal before the law. That includes the president, and it includes Arthur Fraser as well.
You speak about whether or not factionalism is at play. What exactly do we know about Fraser? You know, he's a powerful political figure with some close ties to former President Jacob Zuma, because, I mean, he's the very man who secured him medical release.
Well, even before that, the medical release, he was allegedly, at least, the person that was responsible for leaking the tapes, in that it eventually led to ex-President Zuma for the charges around the arms deal being pushed aside and being delayed. And we've seen that now taken over a decade to come back into the court. So, yes, he has a long history within the ANC intelligence services, within the State Security Agency. And, of course, then he was shifted to correctional services. But anyone who's been that long, as the ex-president was, in the intelligence, both within the party as well as within the state, is going to have a lot of information at their hands and is going to be able to play a dirty game if they want to. So I'm not saying that there's nothing necessarily to these charges, but it's clear that, as you say, the timing and Fraser's what happened to him, and as he was pushed aside when President Zuma had to leave and President Ramaphosa was successful at the Nasrec conference, there might be some comeback charges against Arthur Fraser because there is a lot of smoke hanging over his head as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that this is enough to destabilize Ramaphosa's office and his cabinet, especially considering the climate, you know, the economy, COVID-19, a lot has happened?
Look, I think it stirs up some interest. People will be asking questions, but I think until such time as if there are any case to answer and criminal charges were laid, I don't think until that time it's really going to have a huge impact economically on the markets or the destabilization of the cabinet. The cabinet already is contested to a certain extent, but I think in the last several months, President Ramaphosa has strengthened his hand within the party as well as within cabinet. But he's going to have to play it very, very, how should we say, smartly in the next several months. Because as we all know, when it comes to ANC congresses and politics, the party takes preference over anything else.
Very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on this discussion. Dr. Dale McKinley speaking there to some reaction regarding the presidency confirming that there was a robbery at President Cyril Ramaphosa's farm, but disputing some of the allegations made by former Spice boss Arthur Fraser.